In this example, we're asked to create a small database of specifications for books in a library. And the specifications we're asked to collect, are the number of pages in each book, the author's name, and an ID for the book so that we can later identify it and search for it. We start out by planning to write our program database as just a simple array. And each element in the array will be a structure that we define called book. And inside that structure we have an integer for the number of pages, a character string called author, and a search ID, which is an integer. We will accept these specifications for all the books in the library from the user and store them in the array. Let's look at how we do that. The enter books function accepts a pointer to a book structure, A. The number of books that we're going to store is fixed at 3. The number of books is 3 up here. And we are going to run a for loop to collect the information from the command line by the user of all 3 of these books. So we start out by asking for the number of pages in the first book, I being the variable that will increment for each book that we collect. So we ask for the number of pages and we do a scanf to accept from the user an integer that we will put in the A pages portion of the structure, the first structure in our array. Then we will prompt the user to enter the book's author name, and we will do a scanf to accept that, and we will put it at the pointer A, element author. Likewise, we'll accept an integer from the user that will be used as search ID, and it will store that in the search ID portion of the book structure. Then we increment our book structure pointer inside the for loop so that we now are pointing to the next element in the book structure book in the array, the 3-element array. And we go through the for loop and we collect all 9 of those pieces of information, and they go into the array. Let's look at where we do that in the main. In first of all, we start by defining an array B of 3 books of type structure book. So we have allocated in memory now an array of length 3, and each element in the array is a book structure. Pages, author, search ID. We call the enter books function, which we just reviewed, with B, and B is an array variable will be a pointer to a structure book. It will point to the first element in the B array. Next, we define a pointer to book, also another pointer to book called S. We don't initialize S on the definition line, we do it here. We ask the search book function to return a pointer to the book that we specify. The search book function is passed the pointer to the B array, which contains all 3 structures of the books that have been entered by enter books. Let's look inside the search book function to see how that works. The search book function accepts a pointer A to a structure of book. And of course we initialized it when we called this function to be the pointer that is the beginning of the B array. We ask the user to enter the book search ID, and we scanf that into a local variable called ID, which is an integer. We run a for loop now over all the books in the B array. We know there are 3 books in the array, and we go through all 3 of those books, and in each case we try to identify, is the search ID of the function, is the search ID of each element in the array equal to the array we're looking for. If it is, if it's equal to the ID we're looking for. If it is, then we will return a pointer to this portion of the book's B structure that we were passed. And of course we are returning a book pointer. If we get through the entire 3 books and we don't find the ID for the search ID, we examine at the end, after the for loop, the fact that I went through all 3 books, and we print out a message that says you entered an invalid ID and we can't find the book in the array database. Okay, so in main we ask for search book. We are returned a pointer to the structure book that was located somewhere in the B array, and we printf the pages of that book using the S pointer, pages, the author, and the search ID. And that is how we can use a simple array to collect data and use it as a simple database.